Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Lynn Carey, and I had a training this week that was just incredible. And so I got new verbiage to explain my experience, and it's called personal freedom. And I realized I have a lot of personal freedom. When I talk to people, there's so many people who live in so much drama. And when you have personal freedom, you don't have to live in drama anymore. You really live not just in peace, because you can be peaceful and it can be boring, but you're feeling high. You're enjoying your life because you're creating it intentionally, blissfully. When you get into the high vibes, you don't have to live in drama to feel. I think a lot of people create drama in their lives because it's better than feeling nothing or feeling despair. So it keeps you distracted. And when you feel peaceful, it's good you can just be peaceful, but also you just feel high. It's that high like when you fall in love, but you're falling in love with life. You're falling in love with yourself. And that might sound cliche if you've never experienced it, but that's the best I can describe it. That's why I wrote my book, My Journey to Grace. Once I felt that grace state within, that's true personal freedom. And then it was actually getting there intentionally instead of by default, because I kind of got there by default. And now I know I have so much personal freedom because I can find that grace state. And I think that is so empowering. So if we first start just talking about health, some people are very into scientific reasoning and backing up, and they have scientific minds. And I guess, that's why there's chocolate and vanilla. There's likes for everything and dislikes for everything. It's what keeps the world growing. But I healed against all science. I healed outside of what the protocols were. So my healing became a feeling. And my truth always comes down to feeling. I don't need scientific proof. In fact, the scientific proof, some of the things that I was being taught in chiropractic school, just like that the brain and the spinal cord don't regenerate. I'm like, well, every other part of the body regenerates. Why would they say that the brain and spinal cord don't regenerate? Well, now there's scientific proof saying that there is. So this is what I'm saying. Like, scientific proof is still too humanized for me. When you get in tune with yourself, you're in tune with a higher spirit. You could call it God, source. I personally don't like the word God because I think religion has bastardized it. And I can still feel people who, they're so righteous standing up for God, but they're talking about a God that's outside of themselves. They don't feel it. So that's religion, right? When you really feel it and understand God, you have peace and bliss, and there's no judgment because it just is. And so if you understand healing, the medical world teaches us that healing is from outside in, where in chiropractic school we learn that healing is from the inside out, because you have this God force or innate intelligence inside of your body, this life force that is always running. So let's just talk about that for a second. How are you sitting here? How are you breathing? Can you consciously figure that out? Or stop and start it? I mean, you could stop and start it, but not for long. Do you have to remind yourself to breathe every day? Maybe deep breaths, but you're breathing. So there's just something so much bigger than our human minds running our body. And if we get into the flow of that and honor the flow of that, that's where healing comes from. And you trust in that more than anything else in the outside world. And then you realize that the outside world can't compare to what's going on inside of you. So your body's always making itself new every day. And your organs are working every second of every day. Your body's doing millions of functions that you cannot consciously have to try to figure out and control. Are you worried about your heart, your lungs, your kidneys, your hair growing, your nails growing, your eyes blinking, all at the same time? Okay, and that's just a part of everything that's going on inside your body. So when you trust that your body's always making itself well. So when we have symptoms, right away we want to say we're sick. I don't really talk in sickness. I don't say I'm sick when my body gets symptomatic. I just say I'm tired, I'm run down, I need to rest. I know I need to slow it down because my mind may have been on overdrive. I may have been around too much negative energy that I let affect me. But I take responsibility for it. I never talk like I'm a victim, like, oh, I got sick from somebody else. Or no, I have control of my body. and my mind. And it's usually when I let my mind go running crazy is that my body may start to get symptomatic. It's not necessarily bad though. You may just be rebalancing yourself out. So if you get a cold, it's your body shedding its lining. It doesn't need, it's getting rid of excess bacteria and germs and all the crap in there that it doesn't need. It's a healthy process, right? You're purging yourself. It's a cleansing. We should honor it. We shouldn't be taking cold medicine and stopping the process. Now your body has to work doubly hard. So it has to get rid of the cold medicine and still do its job. Do you see how every time you take a drug, you're interfering with what your body needs to do? See, when you start thinking like that, that's personal freedom. That's power, empowerment. How about a fever? A fever is the same thing. Your body brings the temperature up high up because it burns off everything it doesn't need and you sweat it out. And then when it's done, it brings it back down to normal and you're healthier than ever. But right away, we always want to suppress the fever. We destroy our bodies with the way we think with this stuff. This is why we're so sick as a society. We have been taught to trust the outside in versus the inside out. And how about all the autoimmune diseases? That's because we're constantly pumping ourselves with drugs. Even the depression thing, everybody's on antidepressants. No, the mainstream, what it's telling you what life is, sucks. You should be depressed. So you need to change it. I'm so tired of the antidepressant thing. No antidepressants. The worst thing you could probably do for yourself. You need to feel all those negative emotions and learn to shift them and learn to make changes in your life. Learn to be uncomfortable and create a new path. We're so afraid to be uncomfortable. You're afraid to even feel your sickness or your symptoms because you're afraid that it doesn't serve you. You're afraid of something bad's gonna happen. I'm not afraid to feel my symptoms. I've been on the bathroom floor laying there in agony for many a times, but nobody could help me anyway. I had nothing but to trust myself. There was no way out. And thank God, because I'm stronger and better than ever for it. So you have to learn to be uncomfortable. I was uncomfortable just being in the mainstream world. That never felt comfortable to me. I thought if this is all there is to life, I want out. So I actually found my comfort outside of the mainstream norm. How about cancer? You know, cancer is just you're eating yourself inside. There's so much anger. It usually deals with anger. Your body is actually eating itself away. It's autoimmune disease too. Why is it turning on itself? Actually, I don't even believe in the autoimmune thing. I mean, you have chronic symptoms because you're not dealing with something in your life. The medical world likes to label it as an autoimmune disease. I swear the chronic fatigue syndrome, I thought there is another name. That means you're just chronically tired, right? Another name that because the medical people don't know what else to call it. So they place a label on it to give you it's just a victim mindset. Now you think you have this label, whereas really your body, why is it not functioning properly? It's because of the mental state you're living in. Too much fear, you know, even relationships, and not just romantic relationships. You can have family relationships that are draining the hell out of you. I had them. And most people will say, well, I can't change that because they're my family. You can. I mean, I got to the point where it's either my health or my family member's health, like my mental health or theirs. Couldn't do it anymore. And that really, I stayed in that pattern for a long time. And now that I'm out of it, it's really freeing. I realized how draining that was in my world, on my body. So really your body can heal anything. And I believe, you know, the symptoms are secondary to the emotional state and the mental state you live in. When you trust that your body's healing itself, when you know it's doing what it needs to do to get healthy, when you stop putting chemicals on your skin and in your food and in your body, when you clean that up at least 80%, and the majority of it, part of your daily routine is cleaning up, you know, clean products, you know, that's just common sense. I mean, in our skincare, they have gasoline. It's byproducts of gasoline and dead animal disease products in our skincare. That's the cheap stuff you buy on the shelves. That's gross. Like, you should never be using that. You should at least know, you know, and that's how numbed out our government allows that. They allow anything to go in our products. So, and our food. Why does it cost more to buy organic? It's really a sick system that we have. But they spray everything, and it's just, eventually your body gets overloaded. So that's important, to clean up the toxins on your body, inside your body, the toxins in your mind. You got to face your relationship drama. You got to face your childhood drama. You got to face that you hate your job every day, if that's part of it. And you got to take the time. I think, so the system sets us up to be right away in the rat race as soon as we get out of school. They keep us in the rat race in school, too busy to think. That's what they want you. They want you too busy to think. So that's why kids are busy all day, busy afterwards with activities, homework. They never have time to just stop and be and play and be creative. And see, they set us up from the beginning to be that way. And then as soon as we graduate right into 40 plus hour work week, and taking care of our basic needs, where your paycheck's barely covering your basic needs because the cost of living keeps going up because they're printing money. So the cost of living goes up, but your paycheck doesn't go up. And if it does go up, they tax you more. So you're caught in that rat race, trading time for money. The ultimate rat race. They kill the middle class because they want to kill the middle class. They want you on welfare so that the upper echelons have power. And welfare, you're supported by the government, so you'll do what they say. See, that's the purpose of destroying the middle class. But do it for everyone. We're better together. Stand 6 feet apart. Do your part. That's the programming. No, we're supposed to be empowered people, each individual empowered with our personal freedom, understanding how we heal, understanding how money works. Taking the time to understand, define real economics. Keynesian versus Austrian economics. Austrian economics is real capitalism. Real free markets are based on supply and demand, not government intervention. They lied to us. Building asset wealth versus trading time for money. It might be uncomfortable. It's been uncomfortable for me to learn, but it was better than staying in the rat race. And when you learn to be uncomfortable, it's the most rewarding thing because the rewards are so much greater. That puts you in that higher state because we're supposed to be growing and exploring and becoming our best selves. That's getting out in our being uncomfortable. And look how many people don't want to be uncomfortable today. So they won't stand up against the mass because they don't want to be uncomfortable and have a confrontation with people. This is how the Nazis took over, because people didn't want to stand up. They wanted to just be a good German and do what they were told, and they didn't want to be uncomfortable to stand up for their neighbor being taken away to the concentration camp. Same thing what's going on today. What do you think the jab passport's all about? Same thing. It's like putting the star on the Jews. But people are like, I'll just put on the mask because I have to. Well, I think you should stand up, be uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable for me this year. This year gave me the final piece. I had the money stuff. I had the health piece. I had the mental freedom piece. I understood that how to be in tune with my emotions. This piece, I could never get to the government stuff because it was just so corrupt. And if you really understood it, you would be horrified. But the final piece is that we have to get back to our Constitution and for other countries, our basic common natural law. That's it. Government's become a beast. It's a very evil beast, and we have to stand up to it. America was founded on we take this for granted as Americans because they don't teach us this in school anymore. They've numbed out our educational system to just obey the government, which is not America. We never had to fight for our freedom. We do now. And still some people don't see it. Some people don't see it. I knew the China virus was a lie immediately. I didn't need to see a news flash. I didn't need to go find doctors who were telling me it wasn't. I knew, because when you understand health, it doesn't make sense. When you own your health, you're never afraid of catching something outside. Even now that they're saying the people who are getting the jabs are spreading it to other people, well, not if you're healthy. Now we're just as bad as saying we have to wear a mask not to catch the damn virus in the first place. There's no difference in my mind. No, you are healthy. Take control of your own health. Take control of your finances. Take control of your relationships. Create your best life step by step. Make a move. It doesn't all have to be done at once. It's a process, and you learn to enjoy the process. And part of the training of the personal freedom was creating red light and green light stories. So how many red light stories do you tell yourself? The red light stories come from fear, that you can't do it, you're not enough, I don't have enough, I can't afford it. What will people think of me? What if I die? All these things. Then there's green light stories. What if it works? What if I heal? What will my life look like if my dreams come true? What if my immune system is strong enough to handle anything? Green light stories. So pay attention to what do you tell the self-talk. What are you telling yourself all day long? Change it. Step by step. Change your stories. Empower yourself. Read books. Read books that empower you. Listen to things that empower you. Don't keep listening to the fear-mongering. Even some of the truthers stuff, it gets like fear-mongering. I'm like, let's get to how we empower ourselves, right? And I think that's what personal freedom is, where you're in the moment, you're feeling exactly what you're feeling, because now you're not afraid of any of your emotions. You allow yourself to feel angry, you allow yourself to feel sad, because then when you would just allow it, you move through it. And you feel peace again, and then you feel bliss, and you look for things to appreciate, and you make the best of each moment. You appreciate every moment, and you're growing yourself, right? You're learning something new every day. You're learning a new skill. You're challenging yourself, and you're just happy. Like you feel this bliss of happiness in these moments. That's personal freedom. I feel like that every day. I'm not saying I'm still not challenged by things, but it's in a positive way. I would say it's such a small that I feel I get stuck in fear, a small amount, but I know how to shift it. I just give myself a break. I take some breaths. I'm like, okay, stop looking at it right now and look at something that makes you feel better. And then get back into it when you feel the inspiration again. And when your energy's flowing in your body, things shift quickly. And the things that give you the hardest time are going to end up being your biggest blessings when they're over, when you break through. So it's exciting, it's fun. That's what we're here for. We're here to grow in freedom and joy and love and happiness and bliss. So that's what I'm sharing with you today. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Have an amazing day.